And there is a very strong relationship between training and learning. If you have a very clear understanding of learning, then you can design good training. Remember this always. If you want to, provide good training activity, because why are we giving training? To get certain outcomes, isn't it? And what are the outcomes in training? Outcomes is normally we use a word in training that is called transfer of training. We call something transfer of training, which means that whatever learning, maybe cognitively, maybe behaviorally, has been imparted to you during the training process, we want to see its application at the, application at your workplace. So when you want to see this application at work of training, this we normally designate as transfer of training. Now, obviously, when an organization is spending a lot of money in transfer of training, cost benefit analysis is always going on in organization to see whatever activities or investment you are doing. In my previous class, I told you training and development is an investment in human capital, isn't it? It's a investment in human capital. Why is it an investment in human capital? Because human being, we are treating it as a resource, as a person who has a potential, provided he or she is given the right training. And by training, we are investing money, resources of the organization to build the potential of an individual. And once the potential is built, the individual carries it out at the workplace through performance. Okay, so indirectly we can say training and development is actually an investment in human capital to raise performance, and this adds an essential competitive advantage to any organization, especially in today's context where technology use is so high. Organization is picking up or approving your proposal for training with some budget allocation. It is looking forward towards outcome in form of transfer of training. Now question comes, how do you ensure that training will be successful? How do you ensure training will be successful, isn't it? And for that, to ensure training will be successful, you need a very deep understanding of learning as a phenomena. We will start with learning theories. We will just pinpoint on the learning theory and its interrelation to training process. Then for designing training, you need to have a good understanding of learning. What are the learning principles which influence training? What learning is. So learning is a relatively permanent change, right? So this permanent change actually always comes through the process of experience. Remember this. Unless and until we experience, it is difficult to to learn. You may read, you may hear, you may just remember for some time, but once you experience it, your learning is more perfect. What does this indicate? This indicates that as a trainer or as an HR person who is designing the training program, you should look at the avenues where during the training process, the trainees get an opportunity to learn. Like in your student, as a student career, you see you are given this internships or projects or assignments. Many institutions conduct extension activities. They try to build a gap between student and the society through activities where the students participate in various activities in the society. So these live activities actually develops your personality and brings about certain learnings in form of experience, and these experiences are very rich. We don't forget them. Like this include more and more experiential learning, right? So we here actually come across a word called experiential learning. So this is why experiential learning is given too much of focus nowadays, especially in B schools for education of management student and other students as well, because that actually you learn how to do things. These capabilities have a very specific learning outcomes. Remember, whenever you are doing experiential learning, the outcomes are very specific. They are very clear. Now, what are the various type of outcomes? Let us quickly see. When we look at the various outcomes, they can be in form of, getting knowledge. Knowledge getting is also important. See, in your class now, whatever we are doing is we are sharing knowledge. When you actually practically, because I will give you an assignment to design a training program in which actually you will, come across people and you will interact with them, you get involved. So when you will get involved in designing the activity, you will need this information which I am giving you today in the class. So what I am doing is I am actually providing you the cognitive knowledge or the verbal information. Intellectual skills, you learn how to do things. When you solve case studies, when you write answers to a situation, what are you doing? You are actually developing your intellectual abilities, ability to think, interconnect things and try to derive an answer. Motor skills, when you carry out some activity, you use your voluntary muscles to carry out your activity. So these are required, especially, whenever you are providing any technical training, like, flying an aeroplane, or it may be, a simple like how to use a crane, how to operate a crane, anything it may be, anything related to technology. Attitudes, your way of thinking. What is attitude? If you recall, attitude is the judgmental statement we make about anything. Okay, so knowledge actually gives you to develop a right kind of thinking so that your judgmental attitude is positive. It doesn't go to the negative side. So that is also an objective of training. For example, I'll give you some examples here. Training, cross-cultural training, okay? Organizations or multinational companies who send their employees to foreign land, actually they train them in cross-cultural issues. Now, what is the objective in cross-cultural issues? They are not exactly they may not be making them learn a particular language, but they provide them an experiential and cognitive knowledge in the area related to the particular country, its culture, the attitude of people, the beliefs of the people, the value system of the people. Cross-cultural management trainer, you are actually trying to open up their attitude, make them have a positive attitude towards a particular country, the people of that country. Because suppose you are moving to country say X, so before going to that, if you have some prejudices, if you have some poor clarity of the people, their attitudes and values, you will not be able to carry out your work properly. So cognitive strategies refers to your wisdom. Okay, so whenever in your life you are in a manager's position making a decision, you need to You need to develop cognitive strategies to make a decision, and this comes through your your knowledge in the particular area and various issues related to it. So ultimately these are very broad learning outcomes. Remember, these are very broad learning outcomes. When you will be preparing your training and development assignment proposal, in your proposal your learning outcome has to be very specific depending on the learning objective. Always be clear on it that learning objective and learning outcomes should be very clearly defined in every training and development program, in any training. And what is the use of it? Based on the objective, you design your methods, you decide your method, you design the the material or the curriculum, you decide what activities you are going to carry out. All this depends on the learning objective. So suppose I am framing a cross-cultural training program, my learning objective is going to be very different from suppose I am preparing a training program for a crane operator or a supervisor's leadership development program, right? So, and what happens, these learning programs actually help us to give clear-cut outcomes, and these clear-cut outcomes are important to ensure our return on investment, isn't it? They will actually be a guideline to ensure or check. And how we ensure that? We ensure that through training evaluation, right? So ultimately you can evaluate what? The effectiveness and efficiency of training, right? So the training effectiveness and efficiency, if I want to evaluate, will have to set my learning objectives very clear in the beginning, and I should be clear about what are going to be my learning outcomes to explain and show ROI. The first one we will discuss is your Bloom's expectancy theory of motivation. When we talk about Bloom's expectancy theory of motivation, what does it say? It talks about this important thing called effort, isn't it? So when you are planning a training program, what's your basic objective? That the trainees should put their best effort, isn't it? You want trainees to put their best effort at work or apply the training programs at work when they go back to their workplaces. How will you ensure that this effort? Victor Bloom has actually beautifully made some calculations, and let us elaborately try to understand this in perspective of training and development, right? So there are three important variables, the multiplication of which gives you effort. They are expectancy, instrumentality, and valence. Now what are that? Let us understand them in easy words. Expectancy, amount of effort is the individual going to put during the performance, right? And in terms of training, how do we ensure that? We ensure that by asking them these questions. What are those questions? First is, does the trainee have ability to learn, right? This is very important. Now we claim that by providing training, this will be the outcome and the person will be able to do. But before you provide training, is the individual, has the ability to learn? is he sufficiently, you know, in terms of the knowledge he possesses, in terms of past experience, does the individual has an ability to learn? This is very important to check. If you remember in our previous semester in HRM class on training, I told you, online class only we had, I told you that you can train a person who is highly motivated, and you can make him or her learn skills. So what level of skills you will make him learn, that will be decided on his ability to learn, maybe in terms of language, maybe in terms of the skills and competencies he or she possesses. So therefore, as an HR person, you should have an inventory or data that talks about his or her competencies and past education. Okay, so therefore this in HR, this inventory management in HR refers to keeping up of all data. That is, normally nowadays we get human resource information system where we collect all the data of employee, which is stored, so that you can quickly access these information. Suppose does the trainee believe he can learn? Now how will you find this out? For this, you will have to talk to the trainee. You have to find out the motivation level. The employer branding rated organizations, these organizations allow the trainees or the employees to choose their training activity. Why they allow them to make a choice? So that based on their likes, dislikes, requirements, their plan of career is instrumentality that talks about the outcome of performance. That is, we can ask question, does the trainee believe training outcomes promised will be delivered? How many times you truly feel that you will learn something? How many times does it happen? And remember that one time also, if you had a clear thought, yeah, I'm attending this webinar or this seminar on this skill, and I'm really going to learn something. If you have this feeling before attending the program, believe me, your alertness level will be very high and you will get very good outcome, provided that training is also of good quality. It should match you. So what I mean is, the building of this belief is very important. So these companies, especially your IT companies and your information technology, your call centers, your all top-notch manufacturing companies, these good companies actually motivate their employees. They put all the information in front of them. Numbers are very transparent, very clearly in front of you. You can easily say, yeah, if I attend this, this is going to be the outcome, and I'm very sure that I will learn this thing. So when you become very sure, invariably you are generating that motivation within you to put in best of your efforts, right? And this is very important. So what these organizations do, or what you should do in your organization, is you need to make the trainee believe that his expectations or her expectations of attending the training program will be fulfilled through the quality or the knowledge or the experience delivered during the training program. This is very, very important to generate your motivation. And finally, we have, does that outcome make sense for you? That is, are outcomes related to training valued? It's your priority. What makes more sense to you? What is more valuable to you? These things will differ depending on, your objective in life, depending on your career objectives, depending on what you want to do. Does it make sense for you? It may be a very good training program, but it may not make sense to you, right? Because it may not have value for improvement in what kind of work you do. right? So therefore, an understanding, a thorough understanding in this can actually help you make an employee put best of his or her effort. So when you design this training program, you need to be, you know, very clear in answering these questions. If you get them right, then you can ensure that your trainee is going to give his or her 100% effort in the training process. And if effort is good, then transfer of training will be high, right? So next, let us move to the concept called adult learning theory. There is another word for adult learning. It is called andragogy, right? An organization, you are designing a training program actually for adults, people who have seen much of experiences, have much of knowledge, and again there you have to motivate them for training program. It's really a tough task, and this task is made simpler if you understand the basic principles for adult learning. If you follow these guidelines or principles of adult learning, the chances are more that the training you will design for them, keeping your audience in mind. See, that's very, very important. Whenever you are designing any training program, the participants' picture should be clear for you. That means who is going to attend the training, why the training will be important for that particular guy, how he or she will develop himself or herself in his or her career after the training program, right? If you answer all these questions prior to your training program, the output or the ROI on your training will be better. So let us see what are these normally. The assumptions of it are, first of all, you know, adults have the need to know why they are learning something. This is just, I said something. If I ask you to do something, your question will be, Madam, why should I do this? So give reason. You should have answers. So therefore, when you design your training and development program, you should clearly mention why this training and development program is being designed, for whom this is being designed, why this learning will be helpful to you in terms of your career or in terms of better performance of your present work or in terms of well-being. You know, a lot of training programs are just, you know, if you see nowadays, so many, you know, the day that COVID started, so many webinars on how to manage yourself in COVID, and still now people are carrying it out. You know, these are all what? These are small training programs, right? So you should be very clear what sense does it make, how useful it will be. So adults have a right to be self-directed. This is the most beautiful thing. I said just prior to this slide that in organizations, they give the opportunity to its employees to select training programs as per their choice, as per their career aspirations. Now, this is a very, very important word nowadays, career aspiration. People are mature, people are self-directed. You don't have to push them. You just need to develop a desire, a motivation to attend the training program. Because, you know, just hearing, like suppose in my class you all are attending now, I am not sure, since I cannot have an eye-to-eye contact with you and neither I am able to see your face, I am not sure, you know, whether you are doing a hearing task or a listening task. But I would highly appreciate if it's a listening task, right? So and that's it. And listening will make the difference. Listening will make the difference. And this happens if your training is not properly guided, not properly rationally prepared. So this is important. More work-related experiences into the learning situation. Now, when we look at this work-related experiences, what does this signify for you as a training and development designer? That signifies that whenever you are selecting any activities to be done in the training process, whenever you are selecting the exercises to be done, the case studies to be done in the simulation process in the training and development, or whatever examples are being given, they should be relevant to your work experience. Did you get it? So therefore, when you design training program, the training program should be as close as possible to the actual working environment of an individual. Just make a note of it. This is very, very important. You should know, it should be as close as possible to actual working environment. While giving training program, if you take the person on a, you know, on some dreamy thing which is actually not practicably applicable at the workplace, then it doesn't make a sense. Because if that is not possible at the workplace, when the you know, individual goes black, then the whole money invested, time, energy and everything goes to a waste. So it looks towards the applicability of the training thing. The last one is adults enter into a learning experience with a problem-centered. This is also important thing, the problem-centered approach to learning. And that is the reason why, you know, in management classes, we give you a real time situation. But you as a management student need to understand why are you reading a subject and how you can actually use it at the workplace. What sense of utility it has. So therefore, the approach for an adult should be more problem-centered. Similarly, when you are planning training program for people in your organization, look at the problem, design the training problem, and the focus of your activity, the whole activity, which we will study in detail in our next units, should be towards, you know, assessing the problem and related to it. Hence, all the examples, the technology, the experts and everything has to be related from that area. The last one, adults are motivated to learn by both extrinsic and intrinsic motivators. So this is something again you need to take care of. When we call extrinsic motivators, what happens? Usually organizations give some benefits in terms of allowance, in terms of incentives to its employees, so that they will stay motivated to learning process. And when you attend more and more training programs, it adds up to your KSAs and competencies, and that is added to the inventory of the organization, so that whenever there is a need for promotion, transfer, you know, maybe enriching your job, the organization can directly get the information from the inventory and make a decision. Intrinsic motivator. Now, intrinsic motivator, as you must have studied in OB, it talks about, you know, recognizing people, appreciating them, appreciating people efforts. See, always remember, the person who is attending training and development activities, going through the learning process, is putting in more effort to learn something new, you know, and always learning something new requires a lot of your mental energy, your physical energy, you know, it makes you put in effort. So this effort should be appreciated by the organization. In designing the training program, take care of these adult learning theory, these 5 assumptions, and accordingly design the program, accordingly motivate them. This motivation is very important for you to, you know, get the good results from the training program.